Welcome to the channel. This is Daisy X Machina, the dragway detective who investigates all things speculative in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. And this is a Get Ready With Me, where I put on drag makeup to film a video later today. And Lori can't be here today, reading River of Doubt nonfiction about Teddy Roosevelt. Well, thank you for checking in, Lori. John Crow is here. Yay. I apologize, John. Well, let's go through. We have Frank is here and Ladette is here. Yay. Yeah, I canceled last Saturday, and I tried to, I say it in the community section, and I said it in my comment in my video I released. But I had an angiogram on Wednesday, and I still have a bruise here because they went through, if you don't know what it is, they put a catheter through your vein and they run it to your heart and they inject dye in. And my wrist was really hurting. Plus, I had some people visiting Las Vegas on Saturday that I haven't seen in years. And I thought I would, take the day off. So apologies if you didn't hear, but the angiogram showed that I didn't have any blockages in my heart, which is what they were looking for. And it was so expensive. I mean, I have insurance, but I was like looking at the bill that they're billing my insurance, and it's like $50,000 just for and that's not including like all the little extras they add on. So it's probably like $60,000 for a diagnostic test. I mean, I don't know. The healthcare here just seems out of control. Finally read Solaris by Stanislaw Lem. At least it was short. What does that mean? I like Stanislaw Lem, but I do like his short stories because I have a collection of, I really like his short stories. So I don't know. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've read Stanislaw Lem. Okay, guys. So yes, how's your reading going? So I read. Is Cappuccino here? Well, if Cappuccino watches this at all, she had suggested, because I was looking for a book, Same Dream, no, Same Bed, Different Dreams by Ed Park. And it took me 2 weeks to read. It's a thinker. I have to say, the first part, it took me a while to get into it. It's a speculative fiction that's divided into 3 parts. Or there's 3 timelines that it just keeps like going 1, 2, 3, and then back to 1, 2, 3, then back to 1, 2, 3. So the first one is kind of modern day, 20th century. The second one is a little bit into the future, not crazy into the future, but let's say 50 years into the future. And then the third one is a book that was written in the second timeline that was called Same Bed, Different Dreams, which is the name of the book we're reading, which is a historical, I guess it's historical fiction, but it reads like real history, and most of it is real history of Korea in the since Japan invaded it in the early 20th century. So, and there's a whole bunch of things I didn't really realize that happened. I mean, I know basically that Japan sort of invaded Korea, and then they were freed during World War II. And then there's the Soviet and USA divided it after the Korean War with in the 50s. So if you're interested in the Korean War, it's very interesting. I understand why Cappuccino said it was the best book she ever read this year, because once you get to the end, it had a big impact. Um, for me, the first 20% I had a really hard time to get into. That's why I was like reading it really slow. And since it jumps around so much for these like basically three different stories, you really have to like concentrate and remember what happened beforehand. And but I do recommend it. I recommend that you read the blurb first, because I went into a blank, big mistake. Sort of get yourself prepared for what you're reading. It was nominated for the Pulitzer, I believe. And I would suggest getting a hard copy, because the font changes, there's pictures in it. Not great for the ebook version. Do have a computer ready, because there's times when you don't realize, or you start questioning what is actual historical fact and what's fiction, and to play with your mind. The characters in one of the versions starts questioning whether same bed, different dreams are, what parts are historical or not, just as you're questioning it. Anyway, it's a trippy book. Recommend it. It's a hard read, I think, but it's worth it. Okay, I was really babbling for a long time. Lynette finished Legends and Lattes. Love the characters 4 out of 5. Yeah, the characters are where it's at. You know, the story is real simple. They call it a cozy fantasy because it's not, it's such a small little story about someone opening a coffee shop, but yeah, really fun. Don't bother with that Michael Crichton Eruption book. I don't even know that book. What did I miss? Nonfiction was Men Who Hate Women, about misogyny in the manosphere. And it was depressing. Hey, DK, thank you for joining us. About incels? Kind of sounds like it. I doubt that Crichton contributed much to it. Was it based on an outline he did or something? I don't know. I did hear that Michael Crichton did a lot of outlining for his stories. It is about incels, men going their own way, and PUA pickup artists and other misogynistic online groups. Written by Laura Bates. Okie dokie. So let me get started with something. This week for filming, I'm taking a break from the lists, because if you don't know, every 6 months I like to do a review of the Shelve It or Shove It books. And then I'll go back to the list. And I may film Shelve It or Shove It for next month, just to have that set up. So I think I was going to do purple. What a surprise. I'm trying to find the darkest purple I have that isn't too blue. I think it's this. Okay. Did read it, wasn't that bad. It's based on Crichton's outline and research notes, written by James Patterson. A lot more Patterson than Crichton. Okay. Okay. So I did see the end of Doctor Who with Shurigatwa, and not really my favorite season. And I'm really going to need to like recalibrate my expectations because I will watch the next season. It's a really short season this year. Like I've said before, for me, Doctor Who, I really appreciate the science fiction aspect of the Doctor, and that's my expectation. And with any book, it's the ability to suspend your disbelief. And I had a hard time this season suspending my disbelief because since I was expecting um, sort of the explanation of why what looks like magic is really not magic, but science based. Um, for me, it just felt like we're really into fantasy, which, and you know, I love fantasy. It's just not what I was expecting for Doctor Who. As an example, the original Sutek from the Fourth Doctor, it was explained of, oh, he's from a race called the Osirans, and he's a megalomaniac, but there, you know, he's like from a race of these other beings, and he sort of got out of control. They can live thousands of years, yada yada yada, and he's a psychopath, but their psychic powers and their technology means that he could like destroy the universe. So we have to stop him. Um, but in this iteration, he was just a god. He was like the god of destruction. At least that's how it was felt presented to me. And I was like, really? You couldn't at least explain how he's like from a race of long lived psychic, um, high tech people that he went a little bit megalomaniac. So I don't know. I do also feel as though one of the reasons why their doctor is like going up against gods is because I don't believe they should have like tried to level up the doctor like every other season. He's like, or they're like, he's the last of the Time Lords now. He's has like every so often they just like have to ratchet up. And it's gotten to the point where the doctors now like this demigod, so the only people that can compete with them are actual gods. So it kind of feels like they've written themselves into a corner. That any competition has to be, you know, super powerful. And I really don't mean to rag on him because I don't mind. I didn't mind the season, but I think this is sort of the American Disney effect. Is they want to show off their special effects because the TARDIS actually like flying through space and like skid landing onto a thing is very impressive for special effects. But why? Because it's actually more impressive technologically that it can just, you know, appear and materialize wherever it wants to. Um, and Shuri Gatwa is a great actor and can cry, I guess, on demand. And it's so impactful if Doctor Who cries, unless they do it every episode. And then it's just, it loses its impact. So, yeah, I don't know why that choice was made to have him cry on almost every single episode this season. I don't know. Cappuccino is here. Cappuccino, I was just talking about um, Same Bed, Different Dreams. You recommended it the last time we were here, and I read it this over the last couple of weeks. And as a recap, I felt it was difficult to get into. The first 20% of the book I really struggled with, and but once I got into it, I can understand why you felt this was like the best book you've read this year. And you know, if you're anyone that's interested in Korea, the history of Korea in the 20th century, um, really recommend this book. And you won't forget the last line. That's all I'll say. Tate is a ridiculous person. Oh, missed this. Andrew Tate. She would have included Andrew Tate. Oh yeah, yeah, I remember, yeah. He's an awful. Boys and girls being influenced by online. Neither is probably very good. Oh, Diana Wynne Jones. Love Diana Wynne Jones. I don't think I'll continue with the series. My favorite Diana Wynne Jones, by the way, if you don't know, she wrote Howl's Moving Castle, which is nothing like the movie. But the Crestomancy series is my favorite. Lynette liked the season of Doctor Who. Yay! Very, very short. And they could have done more with Sutek. And who is the old woman? I kind of like her. the neighbor, who I guess is probably Susan, the granddaughter. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I do like her. I may be an MGTOW. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay, that makes sense. The mysterious woman we find out in the Christmas special. No mention of the sirens. Don't mention Christmas again, most depressing time of the year. At least the Doctor lost a bit of their godlike persona during the Whittaker era. I need to see more of those. But what about um, the Nightmare Child thing storyline? Yeah, sorry, Frank. If you don't know Doctor Who, the Whittaker stories were awful, waste of a talented actress. Yeah, apologies if you don't know anything about Doctor Who and we go on and on about it. You are not an MG. What is MGTOW? The MGs is middle grade to me. Never hated women. So that's some type of red pill man, I guess. Okay. Back to Z makeup. So I did. I want a light purple. I think I need that palette. Go with this. And this is sort of a pinky purple, so we'll see how it combines. But of course, the thing to watch now if you have HBO and you like fantasy is House of the Dragon. That really is, in my opinion, the best fantasy um, since Game of Thrones. Because I'm really not that impressed with the Rings of Power or whatever Amazon is doing. And certainly not Wheel of Time. Same bed, different dreams is difficult to get into, but once I reached a certain point, it started to come together and read easier for me. So glad, thank you. Yes, well, thank you, Cappuccino, for recommending it, because otherwise I would never have heard of it. I never heard of it. The book I read was the first in the Christomancy series. I did listen to it when I was 6, so maybe I should give the second book a chance. Has anyone read a sci-fi novel about a youth with striped red and blonde hair? I would not. I don't know. Maybe. The other book I listened to, was the Nancy Boys. I did not have to concentrate so much. You know what? That's so funny because I'm reading at the gym. I listen to audiobooks at the gym, which to force me to go to the gym, or something to look forward to, is Good Omens, which is a full cast. I love full cast audiobooks. And I know, Lynette, you don't like the like background music or sound effects. This is pretty much just dialogue. I don't, at least not yet. I don't really remember sound effects or background music, but it's just this really excellent. I don't know who the narrator is. It's a woman, and the full cast is everyone doing the different dialogues, and it is hilarious. I mean, if you've seen the Amazon show, you know the story, and I have read the book, but it's been, God, 20 years, whatever, since I've read the book. And I'm listening to it in the gym, and I am like laughing out loud, but I have my earphones in, so I'm sure I look like an idiot. I just start chuckling, and it's so funny. It's so good. Um, and Lynette, I think you would like the Good Omens audiobook too. Even though it's full cast, it's not really distracting. First season of House. Oh, that's an old show. They're making the Nancy Boys a series. Oh, that should be good. The Light in the Forest is your favorite young adult book as a kid. Is that Charles Dillon? Why is that? Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah, I think highly recommend the audiobook. Okay, so what am I doing? Oh, it's going to get some weight. Just to put on the brow bone. God, these eyes are so uneven. Let's go back. Okay. Now, dip into some black. Cap is 62% through Fool's Assassin by Robin Hobb. Loving it so much, so intrigued by a certain new character, and so curious about the plot will be going. Oh, God. That series made me cry. The Nancy Boy series. Whoopi Goldberg is playing with the gods. Bird Goddess. Almost, who wrote that? King Beyond the Gate. Assassins Anonymous is not as good as his warehouse book, but still worth reading. I never remember which book is which for the Elderlings book. Which series is Fool's Assassin? Robin Hobb. Baba. Oh, David Gemmell. Oh, I like David Gemmell. Okay, so darkening this up, give it more dimension. You know what's an interesting series to watch? Is Sweet Tooth, which is a network or Netflix, which is based on a graphic comic, and it looks really silly about a little boy with antlers, but I enjoyed it. It's a post-apocalyptic book about this virus that infects humanity that kills off most humans. And all babies born after this outbreak have animal characteristics. So they're like half human, half deer, or half pig, or half monkey, or half porcupine. But I didn't know anything about the graphic novel, and I was pleasantly surprised. We got to see Cregan Stark in House of the Dragon, but he won't be reappearing this season. So buzz right now. What time is it? Frank, are you an early drinker? I mean, it's only, well, 12:30, so it's afternoon for me. That's the one with B. That's my favorite single book in the Elderling series. I have Sweet Tooth on my watch list. It's worth it. I mean, it looks silly. If you look at the little cover, there's like this little boy with this cherubic face. So it really looks like a little kids show, but it actually has a fairly mature storyline. Fool's Assassin is the first book in the fourth and final trilogy. Is this your first time reading it, Cap? That trilogy really broke me. Very emotional. Ian McEwan. Sweet Tooth? No, doesn't have Ian McEwan. B is the new character I'm fascinated by. Oh, such a good. I kind of want a Elderling series, but but I know I would be so critical. I mean, I'd want it to have like the Game of Thrones treatment, but okay, let me do some drawing. Must be a different book or TV show with the same title. Cute bee crafts. Oh, the little bee emoji. She's not an actual bee, no, but she is tiny for a human. Man, these eyes are so uneven. I mean, I can see it, but I often, after I film a video, it doesn't matter so much, but they're so uneven. Okay. I have put a cautious traveler's guide to the wastelands on my TBR as I have decided to have a book set in trains category. Oh, that's an interesting thing or category. Found horror, sci-fi, mystery, and nonfiction books set on trains. Trying to think if I've known of it. I mean, the only thing I can think of is the Dark Tower had that fantastic train. Oh, I think Stephen King did a children's like picture book about the train in Dark Tower. That would be a fun one to read, I think. So organized, yes, Lynette is. Making a challenge is a good way to expand my reading to find new books. I haven't read many books set on trains, but I'm a railroad modeler as a hobby. Oh, I didn't know that, DK. That's so cool. It's hardly watch TV. The sci-fi book is Railsea by China. Oh, I love China Miéville. Oh my gosh. Um, really? I'm just looking. Railsea. Okay, if you like, I haven't read Railsea by China Miéville, but if you read or go look up The Iron Council by China Miéville, that's also a book with a train in it. Really good book too. Can't say anything about Railsea. But if you like China Miéville, maybe 2 books about trains. Okay, I'm going to cut the crease. And yeah, I'm just going to go all purple. Only look at a few TV series each year. This is the beginning of steam-powered machine pulling wagons. Early train, late, and Wheel of Time. Yeah, that's Lynette is not going to read Wheel of Time for that train. A friend of mine recreated Lutcher's Station in Fife in HO scale and had his work featured in a modeler magazine. Oh, not to include any Agatha Christie books set on trains. Yeah, she does have a few, right? There's Murder on the Orient Express, and what's that one where was it Miss Marple that sees like someone on the another train getting murdered, or um, by the way, Lynette, I would recommend the Iron Council over Railsea simply because I know that that's a good one. Okay. So I'm going to just trying to ombre some purple back into the lid. Always trying to sell Wheel of Time to peeps. 4.5 to Paddington. Okay, that's the name of the book. Interesting pronunciation of Luchars. Okay. I don't even remember what I was pronouncing. She also wrote The Mystery of the Blue Train, which is one of her more boring books. Only steampunk I've read is A Difference Engine. Oh, is that steampunk? That's the one with Sterling and Gibson. You model U.S. trains. You are the train expert. Yes, hit like. Thank you. Thank you, John. Edward Marston had a long mystery series, The Railroad Detective, set in Victorian England. Did they ever find out who Jack the Ripper? No. Lots of books speculating, though. 310 to Yuma is a Western short story set on a train. A few books have claimed to discover who he was. Elmore Leonard. Yeah, Lynette, that's such a random category of books. Books about train or set on trains. Oh, actually. Now, I'm going to put the shimmer over it. I love the theory that Jack the Ripper was one of the royal family. These go on best with the finger, but my fingers find it hard to do. But okay. Not quite sure how this is working, but when all else fails, just add a little bit more glitter. Okay. Time After Time. Really enjoyed that movie. I think it starred Roddy McDowall. Time After Time. The best Jack the Ripper book I have read is The Five, which is about his victim and barely featured Jack at all. The H.G. Wells Ripper crossover. Oh, no. It wasn't Roddy. Okay, I know the movie you're talking about. It was Malcolm McDowell. Was it? God, I can picture the villain and the main character, neither of whom are Roddy McDowell. Yeah, that was a fun film. The Five is very sad. Oh, there we go. Michael McDowell and David Warner. Oh, and Mary Steenburgen. Yes. Wouldn't surprise me if he was a royal. They are all effed up. Yeah. It's a great cast, great movie. Roddy played some. Roddy McDowell he was like a child actor going back to Lassie, I think. He's been in tons of movies. First, you have the alien burst out of chest in that movie. Um, I think a lot of people recognize Roddy McDowell from Fright Night, but he was in so many movies way before that. Okay. Need to start doing the black. Going in with chroma cake. Of course, Roddy McDowell, you never really, well, you did see him, but Planet of the Apes, I think it's one of his best roles. I mean, you saw him, but he was in such heavy makeup that. I still have yet to read, and I want to read it, the original French novel that Planet of the Apes was based on. Because I read the synopsis, and I was like, oh, that sounds so cool. Okay. Roddy was even in a Western once. I'm sure he's been in multiple ones. He was only in the recap of Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Oh, Lex is here. Hey, Lex. When I was 12, yeah, I was. Are we the same age, Frank? I was young. It's 10 when you first saw it. Beneath the Planet of the Apes was awful. Really, I liked it. I mean, I was quite young when I saw it. Start the fourth book in the Great Martian War series today. I've also found another Martian War series in which one of the books concentrates on the Thunder Child. I was 10 when I first watched Planet of the Apes. Oops. Yeah, Beneath the Planet, that's the one with the nuclear Holocaust survivors that are mutants and that wear skins. And the ending is so. Oh, the ending. I like that one. Like I said, I was very young at the time. And I even liked the stupid TV series, which I know must not have been very good. Okay. Okay. So I think we will dust off the bake. Oh, for my Shove It or Shove It, I picked that Someone to Build a Nest in. And I read the first chapter, so I can't really say much about it. But the style is reminding me a lot of T. Kingfisher, who is like one of my new favorite writers. So I'm really excited to read the rest of this novel. It's humorous, but it's not like Douglas Adams or Terry Pratchett. It's not that bum ha ha humor. It's just sort of whimsical fairy tale like. I have all the 8 movies and TV show on DVD. Oh my God, you haven't watched it in 20 years. That is hilarious, DK. Okay, missing a lot of things. Enjoyed both the live TV series and the cartoon. I don't think I saw the cartoon. I really liked the Star Trek cartoon, the original. First Apes movie was kind of funny, kind of satire. Was it? I watched the first couple of 8 movies, but not the rest. Are you talking about the reboot? Because the original 68 version wasn't satire. Just ordered a new omnibus of Mouse 1 and 2 paperback box set. I need to read that. Lynette needs to read that. Have never seen the later ones, so heard they're terrific. I have all, okay, saw that. Love Mouse. We're having a friend over for brunch. Okay, thank you for joining us, John. Brunch sounds great. Donated Mouse to my library and they loved it, but surprised they didn't have it already. Yeah, that is surprising. The Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes movies ended, made me say, what? Okay, so just need to do the okay, I need to buff this out somehow. Yeah, sorry I'm quiet, but some of this requires a little bit of concentration. Okay, I think I'm done with my eyes. Done with the eyes. Love the idea of the first one, even though it made no sense. I love the animated Star Trek cartoon. I just love the characters' close-ups when they look at the camera. Yes. I am also having a pop culture and philosophy category next year. I will definitely read Star Trek and philosophy, Game of Thrones and philosophy, and a couple others. So that's interesting. Yeah, because you read the one with the technology and thing. Alice in Wonderland and philosophy. The Kaiku science guy wrote a book about physics in Star Trek. You've read the physics of Star Trek. There we go. Okay. So come on. A little bit more blush. And move on to the lips. I'm just going to do, I'm just going to do red lips. Okay. And That's really black. It wasn't supposed to be black. Let me. Well, I know. Gloss will make it look a little bit redder. Okay. What's this? Singing to your eyes, like that makes me want to do my Deathbird cosplay. Yay! I like Star Wars and Trek, but prefer the magic element of Star Wars. I have something to say about that. Love cosplay, though, would never have myself painted. Yeah, it's painting's a big commitment. Only saw the first. Those are the best. Those are the best, in my opinion. I don't mind Star Wars, but I'm more of a Trekker. Same. I really love The Mandalorian. Got to do my cosplay at Deathbird for this year's Renaissance Festival. Great. I used to love going to Renaissance. I don't really watch any of the new Star Trek or Star Wars. Don't seem to enjoy them much of the newer stuff. I will not be watching any more of The Witcher. I really liked Henry Cavill. The SNL sketch with Shatner. Yeah, I remember that. Shatner got a lot of crap for that, for not respecting the fans. Oh, Farscape. Yeah, that was a good one, Lex. Consider Babylon 5 to be my favorite sci-fi series. Yeah, well, that's up there in my top 3. I mean, I may have Star Trek the original series just because of its effect on me. But yeah, Babylon 5 would come in second, I think. I always do Warhammer 4K. That should be interesting. I still like Christopher Reeves. Cavill was good. Said before that the Umbrella Academy was dropping in July, but it's 8/8, which is my son's birthday. Oh, how great, on August. Turning 8 on that day, and one man turning 88. Okay, let me put on some eyelashes. Oh, Star Wars. Because I was watching the new Acolyte thing, and it's okay. My thing about Star Wars, the first 3 I loved so much. Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. And one of the things I liked about it was how they treated the Force as sort of this mystical energy field. And I think they ruined it as they were building on there, which is sort of that magic you were talking about, but was as they built up their world building, because then they introduced, it says, well, the Force is actually these midichlorians that are in your bloodstream. And it's like, what? That's so stupid. Why is it a spiritual force? And then they had this really stupid thing of the dark side could only be the master and the apprentice, the Darth and the the master, whatever. And that was so stupid. There can only be two evil force wielders. And then they sort of backtracked on that because in one of the series you saw these people that can use the force that were kind of evil, like turned Jedi, but they weren't like the master Sith Darth thing. And and now in the Acolyte, there's like, well, the force can be manipulated by other uh, people, which I actually like these witches. But I don't know. They're just not. They just went in a direction that I think wasn't very good, and it feels like they're trying to backtrack on it, which I'm thankful for. But I don't know. Is that just me? I always felt they should just left it well enough alone. It would have had plenty of room for the evil uh, force wielders and for other disciplines of the force, people that can use the force, but I don't know. Even Reagan was saying the force is with us. Did you know that I share a birthday with Morgan Freeman? All right. I share a birthday with, I think, Jane Fonda. So, hey, Cappuccino, thanks for coming. Haven't watched that. The Acolyte. Thank you, Cap. See myself as a gray Jedi, but Disney retconned the expanded universe. Acolyte. From the books, there can be very many bad evil force users. Well, yeah, the books are always better in the world building because authors know how to world build. But I'm not a big fan of the Star Wars books, but I did like Splinter in the Mind's Eye by Alan Dean Foster, which was like way back in the 80s. But I think that one too had I don't know if they were evil or gray or, but I like that world building a lot better than what they did on the when they rebooted the Star Wars with, what was the first one? Phantom Menace, whatever it was. I told you I started watching that UK YouTube channel Sorted, and apparently I'm the last one that knew about it. But I signed up for their weekend live, which I don't know, 16 hours of content. And I thought it was $25, but of course it was 25 pounds, which is ended up being $35. But I don't mind supporting a YouTube channel I enjoy. And obviously I'm not watching it on the weekend, but I'll like restream it. Um, when I do work this week. Okay, so man, the lips are dark. Okay. Yes, we are wrapping things up, just putting on the jewelry, the wig, and the gloves. Okay. And the hair I grabbed is my short purple. Because I knew I want to do an all purple look. From the book, there can be many bad evil force users. Sith are a particular sect with only two because they learn multiple peeps and they backstab each other too much. Okay, well, I wish they would have explained that in the movies, or the movies a little bit more. I'll share birthday with Elizabeth Taylor. Star Wars books are a mixed bag. Some were great, some sucked. I'm not a big fan of them, except for the Splinter in the Mind's Eye. I forgot to say that I enjoyed your last show. Oh, thank you, Lex. I don't know what is going on with the book covers. They are so bland. I agree. Jesse Gender has brought out a movie. I think I saw that. BritBox channel on here. No. I'm talking about the Sorted YouTube channel. Mostly discard the covers now if I keep the book. I don't know how YouTubers managed to get John Delancey to star in her movie. Oh. I'm going to see more about that. Maybe he's having a hard time. See this someday for this video. Oh, by the way, if you're watching my channel and you notice my thumbnails change or look weird or something, the YouTube has been saying they're going to do this for a long time, but they finally did it, is to have an A/B test for thumbnails. So you can load up 3 thumbnails and then they rotate it and see which one performs the best. So I'll try that the last couple videos. Okay. So this is the final look. It is all purple and a very dark red lip. And I think that's it. As usual, I'm going to be filming today, but today I am not going to do one of the list videos. I'm going to do a recap of the first 6 months of Shelf It or Shove It, review those books. And it hasn't been a great first 6 months. I'll just leave it at that. And this week I'll probably I do have a fantasy list video, but if I get this one edited, I'll release that one this week. The 6-month review of Shelf It or Shove It. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming. I always really appreciate it. I will be here next week, and I hope to see you then. If I don't show up, check the comments on this channel to see if I've canceled it. But I don't plan on canceling it. Then for your thumbnail, purple is one of my favorite colors. Mine too. Later, Lex. Later, Frank. Later, DK, Lynette, whoever's here. I hope to see you next week. And as usual, may all the books you read be